In this episode of DIGStv, we talk to former Gossip King AJ Benza on his new book and film, catch up with the king of the 60s pop charts, and step inside a show-stopping entertainer's paradise in Hermosa Beach, California. Welcome to DIGStv. Today I am joined by Don Caverhill. Don, welcome to DIGStv.
And you. Thank you.
How might the general public know you?
A long time ago, I was in music, but that was right after man discovered fire. There was a record called Louie Louie. That was the first record I ever made.
Can you recall the feeling when Louie Louie hit it?
Some DJ in Boston had discovered it and locked his door for 3 hours and played it over and over and made it a breakout hit. I remember, and there it was in Billboard magazine, 70 with a bullet. I remember going to my study hall, showing it to my classmates, and they thought I had it printed. You know, mom has twins, dad amazed, that kind of old gag thing. No one believed it. It was like an old rock and roll movie where some kid is playing in his bedroom, and the next thing you know, he's number one.
Is there something happening right now, something inspiring to you that's creative?
So I developed a business where we fund people that buy distressed property and they fix it up and sell it quickly. And I don't mean like people that buy real estate just to speculate, you know, it's like a condo and they buy it and next month they can sell it for 10% more. This is real add value. You have to add bedrooms, tear it half down to the studs, that kind of thing, and with no government assistance, and it improves neighborhoods.
This Hermosa Beach Lighthouse spans 6 different elevations in 4 designer suites, including an epic master suite. Let's hear more from Realtor Ed Kaminsky.
Hi, it's Ed Kaminsky with Shorewood Realtors and the Kaminsky Real Estate Group, and we're proud to present to you the Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is this fabulous home built at 801 Hermosa Avenue in Hermosa Beach, California. The exterior, when you take a look at it, has a similar appearance to an actual lighthouse. So to get this spectacular, brand new 4,000 square foot home for just under $5 million, it's not gonna happen again. But what makes this home more spectacular is the custom finishes throughout the entire home. I've seen homes brand new built on the Strand down the street for over $10 million that weren't finished as nicely as this home. The home has 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and 7 outdoor patios. Another special feature to point out with this home is the lot itself. Your average full-size lot in Hermosa Beach is 30 feet by 80 feet. This is 35 by 95. And for those that live or have owned property in the beach area, you understand the significance of that extra 5 foot in width and 15 foot in depth adds a tremendous amount of indoor space for your width of your home as well as outdoor entertaining space. It's really a combination of beach living and city living. Right in the heart of downtown Hermosa Beach, you could sell your car or just park it in the garage and walk to everything from here. If you want something with indoor and outdoor living, you want to be at the beach, this is it.
Today we are at the beautiful Shade Hotel in downtown Manhattan Beach, and I am joined by the wacky, wonderful, and notorious AJ Benza. In your new book, which I want to ask you about, 74 and Sunny, which, by the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
Simon & Schuster, it's doing well. It's in like every Barnes & Noble.
Cool.
It's plastered, hardcover.
Good.
So
Great.
obviously for a reason, they don't just put any old chump up there. But you're very, very, very open about yourself. And I kind of admire that, and I'm curious where that came from.
Mainly my father, I think, was a very honest guy, very brash, very honest. I don't even think he knew he was letting people know what was behind the curtain when he spoke a lot because, he was like an Italian Archie Bunker. He said what he said, and he meant what he meant, and if you didn't like it, too bad. So I just, I got pretty far in life telling the truth and then putting my feet in the ground and just saying what I felt and moving on. The real backdrop of this story is the fact that I wanted to make my mom and dad immortal. I had to put them in the history books. They belonged in print. They belonged on a dusty shelf somewhere 50 years from now as proof that they lived and they loved the way they did and they turned out to be wonderful people. But the way my dad was to me, and what he gave me, just little conversations, little bits of advice, I try to give my son. I find myself, the real joys in life are what happened once you're a dad. When I was a journalist at the Daily News in New York, there was a saying, the Daily News has been a New York paper 100 years. But when you write a story, the old-time editors who've been there forever would say, you ever hear of Jimmy Breslin?
Yes.
Okay, Jimmy is a great writer, and I wanted to feed off anything he did. But he had a slogan that was, tell it to Sweeney. And what he meant by that was Sweeney being an old Irish immigrant name. If you tell your story, if you tell it to Sweeney, Sweeney will understand it and the Rockefellers will read it. If you tell it to Rockefeller, they might read it and the Sweeneys will never understand it.
That's a good point.
So whenever you approach, if you're doing this kind of work, tell it to Sweeney. And the regular folks, the real hard-working folk will get it. And if you get them behind you, you're doing okay. You're doing the right thing.
You're doing a movie, too.
I produced the movie. We finished it a couple months ago. It will be out. It's going to Sundance, but it'll be out this summer. And Stephen Gyllenhaal directed it, Jake Gyllenhaal's dad. It's called So Be It. It's based on a young adult book called So Be It, a children's book that's beautiful.
So when you think about what you want to do next in terms of your career, because you've done so much, whether it's the books or whether it's the hosting or producing, you've just kind of canvassed the whole entertainment world. I mean, there's very little you haven't done.
Look, I always want to write. I want to write more books. I'd like to write 3 more. I don't know. I'm not so prolific that I can write a book every year. I don't know how people do that. I love the occasional TV show. I get something off a lens of a camera. I really like talking into it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it.